Thank you for listening.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for watching.
listening.
Hopefully, if you're a listener or a viewer, this hasn't been as much of a punish for you as it has been for us. Don't forget to bloody well like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, it definitely has been a punish for us. So it's been
It's
worse
been the
before
hardest
we've
one
watched
ever.
it, much worse. See you.
That's true.
Great,
See you,
great
buddy,
episode. We've
later.
had
All
vomiting,
good.
we've had
Frozen screen.
frozen screens, we've had it all.
Red Hot Underdogs rising tonight. AnzaK and Drewy bringing the fight. Talk about the game ain't just one side. Whistles blowing, sirens loud wide. Energy pumping, scheming plot. Nothing too small, nothing forgot. Boxing gloves and footy kicks. Sport and no spirits in the
How's it
fist.
going? And I just thought I'd do a quick update on my hand. A lot of people like to hear that. So it's been 4 weeks yesterday since the surgery, and I've had the covers off two of them, and these ones actually come off too. As you can see, the tip there is the bad bit, and this one here is the one that doesn't bend the middle finger. I can get it bending that much, but that's all I can do to there, and it's a bit gross, sorry. So it's cut off from there to there. So it's a good bit over half from there to there. And that's what was kind of hanging, and that's where the titanium is. So I still don't have fingernails. Um, I can, do this. It's pretty good, look. And yeah, it still hurts and frustrating. But there you go. There's my hand.
Sport and no spirits in the fist.
1, 2, 3, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Red Hot Underdogs. I am AnzaK, and we are here tonight for your entertainment. And with me is the ever incredible, long contained, often imitated, and never duplicated. Put your hands together for Drewy.
Hello, buddy. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast that forever and a day always picks up the wooden spoon.
Yes. Yep. Got.
But, we're proud of it. We wear our heart on our sleeve.
Yep. Yep.
So I think what we'll do straight away, as we always do, bugger off all the pleasantries and whose barbecue we went to on the weekend and what
Okay.
we did, because people don't want to hear about all that farting and fluff and bullshit.
Some
So
people
we'll just
do. Some people, that's why they tune in. They want to hear about what we did on the weekend.
maybe tune in for next episode, not
Okay.
this one.
All right, this is straight rugby league talk, is it?
Because your boy isn't in any mood to fuck around.
Because
So
you've had a little baby doing your head in for the past couple of hours.
that's true. I'm tired. I'm a zombie. I'm under the weather.
Yeah.
So we go straight to the meat.
You're
So
unappreciated. That's what you are. You're unappreciated.
I think we are all in some respects. It's just
Yep.
some of us are divas and want the white hot spotlight on us
Yep.
and to feel appreciated more than others. But nonetheless, this week we
Yep.
had the Sharks 30
Yep.
beating the Dragons 18.
Yep. No surprise. No
The
surprise.
last place Titans annihilated Manly 28 points to 8. Manly are on a massive slide
Yep.
and are about as on the nose as a great big sloppy hippopotamus shit right
Yep.
now.
Yep. Yep.
So next one was the Roosters beat a spirited Knights 12 points to 8.
Yeah. Bit close.
Dolphins continue to go from strength to strength. The second week in a row, they've lifted the bat for a half century,
Yeah.
58 over the poor old Cowboys, 4.
Yeah. Smash it.
Finally, today, the Dogs, 24 over the Rabbitohs, 18.
A little bit close. A little bit
Yeah,
close.
yeah.
And I mean, just to start with Manly, do you want to start how shit we
Yeah,
what
I
what
think we just,
what can we say?
there's a fair bit to say. I think we rip off the Band-Aid. Like, for anyone who usually watches the show, which might be about two or three people.
Yeah.
And for those who don't often watch the show, we are avid Manly supporters. So today we're just going to go stuff it. We're going to throw caution to the wind. Don't worry, we will cover other subjects,
Yeah.
but now we're going to start with the decline of the Manly Sea Eagles, who have actually lost to the bottom three sides in the last 4 weeks. Of course, they had to win over the Broncos, but they lost to the 17th, 16th, and 15th side in the form of the Titans, the Knights, and the Eels in no particular order.
But
So,
all
yeah,
like not just losing, or conclusively like
yeah,
soft, like Manly lost because they were crap, you know?
yeah. I mean, the worst one of the lot was the Knights leading 16-0 at half time and getting run down 28-22 and losing Golden Point. But I've got to say, the Titans one was pretty diabolical this week. In fact,
Yeah.
I think it's even worse
It was worse.
considering
It was worse. It was
yeah,
worse. I know we
yeah,
weren't run down, do you know what I
yeah.
mean? But we were never in it anyway. Tell me what you.
No, we were never in it. Manly were absolutely diabolical. We were behind 22 points to 8 at half time. And in the second half, against the last place side, we weren't even able to cross the stripe. We got a great big chalky donut and lost the second half 6-0.
Yeah.
Listen, if I was to say anything positive about the Manly Titans game, it's
Wait, this is
this.
good. Well, you're going to say something positive about Manly on that game.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, this will be good. This will be good.
My positive rundown on the Manly Titans game is as an underslept father of a 6-month-old baby who doesn't get much time to himself,
Yeah,
his wife and his daughter were both asleep.
yeah.
So, despite Manly going absolutely terrible, I was at least able to rub one out at half time. And that's the biggest positive I got from the Sea Eagles versus the Titans on the
All
week.
right, that's the only positive thing that happened that I can think of too, actually.
Absolutely. So I
Yeah,
got one away flying solo, and that's
yeah,
about the only fruit I can bear from
yeah.
that
Okay,
particular
all
game.
right, okay, all right. Yeah, well, let's talk about the game, not the
Yeah.
halftime
Yeah.
shenanigans.
Shout out to minor sponsor Kleenex tissues, but I digress.
Yeah,
Listen, I've got an unpopular opinion on the Northern Beaches.
yeah.
I'm officially out of the Trbojevic business.
Yeah, I don't think you're the only one. You're not the only one that just thinks the Trbojevic is like I he's been spare parts for years now, you know.
Yeah,
It's particularly
yeah,
like Tom. Let's talk about Tom first. You know,
yes.
sure, like when did he get the Daily M, like best player of the whole
2021,
2021?
2020. Yeah.
It's 2025, and he is just not the man he used to be.
No. So ironically, people still go by the
Mm,
nickname of Turbo for him.
yeah.
And I'm sorry, he's no longer that Ferrari in the garage. He's
No.
more like your Aunt Doris's Daihatsu Charade
Yeah.
from 1994 with
Yeah.
three cylinders.
I was even thinking earlier than 1994. He's 1974. That's what he.
Yeah. Look, for the record, he's been a fantastic player. He
Yep.
really has, but I've got to the point where I've lost patience as a Manly fan. I no longer want to pay this guy $1 million a year to essentially watch Netflix.
Yep. Netflix.
He was brilliant at his best. We only see flashes of it now.
Yep.
And now when he actually enters the field, he looks more like Bambi on ice and he just,
Yep.
strapped up with spare parts and sticky tape and super glue and it's just not happening for
Like,
me anymore. I think we've got to free up some salary cap space, and I think his brother Jake has to go with him.
yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Jake too. But just before we talk about Jake, Tom. there has been snippets of amazing excellence this year. You know, a
Here
couple
and
of
there.
games, a couple of games. I'd say 2 games. He's been awesome. Two.
Yeah, it's been a bit like an NRL Haley's Comet. You see him with his
Yeah,
magic dust every now and then, but also as far as and I kind of feel like because at the end of the season they want to re-sign both for 2 years. That's the rumor going around. I kind of feel, not being mean to Jake Trbojevic, who
yeah,
again has been a good player,
yeah,
I kind of feel that they want to sort of re-sign him because they still want Tom around because not to be mean, but Jake has a lot of wear and tear on the clock.
yeah,
He no longer makes post-contact meters, very rarely,
yeah,
and his leg speed has just slowed right down.
yeah,
I essentially feel like he's a passenger. I'm not going to completely resole him because I think he's our best defender and still is in the side, but it's not worth the juice isn't worth the squeeze because his attack is non-existent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And what about the third brother, Ben, the youngest guy that has only been in there a year and a half or so?
Look, ironically, I was less impressed with Ben out of any of them to begin with, but right now he's probably the one I want
Yeah,
to
now.
keep.
Yeah, now,
Yeah,
like you two, you
yeah,
were less impressed a year and a half ago. Yeah, and you were like he was pumped up by the name and he was younger and everybody was like he's better than both of them, but he wasn't, right? He wasn't.
yeah.
But right now, he's probably playing the best out of the three of them.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I think he's, as far as a player is concerned, I think he's sort of a handy, straight up and down 5 out of 10, no
Yeah,
special effects.
yeah, yeah.
But he doesn't get injured. He'll make some runs, he'll make some tackles, he'll get involved.
Mm,
And is just a handy player to have in your salary cap.
mm.
Unfortunately, Manly's season goes from bad to worse because we just lost Hamoli Olakawatu over the weekend, who I find is sorry, not Australia's, Manly's best forward.
Yeah. And how
Um,
long will he be gone for?
so far they're thinking 4 to 5 weeks, so that really doesn't help us.
Like,
We'll
but when
see.
someone says that, it's never less than 5 weeks. It's
Oh,
often double. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Which is the season. How many games to go? You know?
Yeah, so we'll have to watch that one closely. The other thing I'm kind of glad of is that we're getting rid of Cherry Evans at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Again, been a magnificent player, played in 2 grand finals with us, won one, been in a couple of preliminary finals, but he's trying, but I just feel it's the first time in his 15-year tenure where he looks like a guy who has been at the same job and the same place of employment for a little bit too long and wants a fresh start,
this
whether
dog
that be
is scratching.
retirement,
I got to bring this dog in. It's scratching.
okay, whether it be retirement or a different club altogether. So, unfortunately, as a Manly fan, I want us to be doing better, but we're not. And it's just one of those things. Meanwhile,
Yeah, I heard all that, Drewy. And
I'm a little bit concerned because
you know who I reckon they should sign? Manly should sign?
who's that?
Also.
Also, yeah, he can't go any worse than some of our players
You know
right
what?
now.
Also,
Yeah,
do better than half of those players right now. Okay, yeah.
quite possibly.
Yeah, yeah.
Quite possibly.
What also?
The only other person or thing that I'm not too keen on is our good old coach, Anthony Seibold.
Yeah.
I just don't see any structure there. I've mentioned it before in the podcast. Manly's an all or nothing side. Either we go out there a million miles an hour and pour on points, and if that's not working, we've just got absolutely nothing. I don't think he's built a structure, a game plan, or a plan A, B, C, or D over the years, and it's kind of showing right now.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
and so new coach, Trbojevic is gone, Cherryev's gone. Let's
yeah,
get some young blood. Let's get
yeah,
some, you know, build up the team. That's what Manly was. We're all about building up our
Yeah.
players. You know what I mean? And
In short, you're right. We kind of need to put
we're
a
not.
broom
Now we're
through the
just
place.
we're holding on to has-beens. That's
Yeah.
it. We're holding on to
We
has-beens.
we're kind of people are still thinking of them in yesteryear and remembering their highlights that are burnt into the brain, but I believe it's no longer that. And I just think that we need to essentially put a broom through the place a little bit and move on. And okay, it could be a few seasons worth of rebuilding,
Yep.
but I think it's better now than holding on to expired stars that are actually taking up space in the salary cap that could be better used elsewhere.
Okay.
My 2 cents.
My last question on Manly: is it more likely Manly make the top eight or
Hmm.
get the wooden spoon?
I'm going to say the wooden spoon.
Oh,
I know it's not what you want to hear. Too many Three Stooges drop passes. Defense like Swiss cheese at the moment,
you
lots
said
of
it.
holes in it.
In the
We
past four
just,
weeks, we've lost to the three lowest placed teams and
yeah.
we got smashed by them. But but Manly's known to like, are we going to suddenly beat the Dogs and Canberra? Because we've got them coming up, you know?
Oh, it's possible, mate. They're complete rain and snow and sunshine, hail and sunshine. They're 4 seasons in one day. They're Jekyll and Hyde. Take your pick. You just don't know. But from what I'm seeing at the moment, it doesn't bode well. And I kind of want to say one last thing. Something that people don't mention is I think that the Cherry Evans situation might have been a distraction this year. Really wish he had have announced his departure after November 1, which you meant to do.
Yeah.
We're not the only club that this has happened to. It happened with Tigers and Galvin. It
Yep.
happened to the Eels with Brown. So, as much as you could use that as an excuse, other teams have suffered a similar fate
Yeah.
when a player has mentioned an early exit, and not just a fringe player, but a star player.
Yeah. But you can't stop that, right? Like there can't be a rule that says no player can announce, like,
Well, essentially, it's all meant to happen after November 1.
yeah,
But like anything, it's just the wild, wild west of rugby league and anything goes. So that rule is pretty much null and void. And a contract these days is pretty much as good as a piece of toilet paper you wipe your ass with.
yeah, yeah.
So, it's just one of those things. But we'll move on from Manly. We've got Origin coming up in Perth.
Yep.
So that'll be pretty interesting. Do or die for Queensland.
Do or die for Queensland. This Wednesday, let's hope that Queensland can win. It'll make an interesting series. Why not?
It will make an interesting series, but as a die-hard Blues supporter and as someone who actually was born with two blue eyes, I hope that the Blues put the absolute cleaners through those inbreds up there in Queensland.
Well, also,
Shout out to all the Queenslanders.
Osso's never been to Queensland. He wasn't born in Queensland. He doesn't even want to go to Queensland. And guess who he is going for?
Queensland.
He's going for Queensland. Yeah,
Yeah,
what a legend.
if the shoe fits, but it is what it is. Being part of your family, I'm definitely not surprised. But listen, interesting news for New South Wales. They actually lost Mitchell Moses this week
Ah, okay.
with a calf strain, so he's out. New South Wales don't lose too much because they get Luai to move in with Cleary. They've won 4 premierships together. So
Yeah.
it's not exactly like the unknown, pretty smooth
That's
transition.
probably even better.
Yeah, it could be. The thing I liked about the Moses and Cleary combination is that they were both huge kickers.
Yeah.
So you could pass it to either one of them. Luai can kick a solid ball, but nowhere near as far as Moses.
Yeah.
So having both of them cannoning the ball right down the field and bogging Queensland down their end was very beneficial to New South Wales. But I think Luai is handy to pass to. They'll try and get it to Cleary, but Luai's short kicking game is very good on the attack. So, you don't lose much. It should be a good game.
Yeah. And being in Perth, it's promoting rugby league in Perth. It's good.
Yeah, like it was heavily criticized the first game because
Mm.
a lot of people felt that it lacked the Origin feel. But if any game is going to have some Origin feel, I think it'll be the second game because it's all or nothing for Queensland.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And being the time difference, like, so are they doing it? Is it going to be early there? Like it's 4 hours later, right? Yeah. So
All I'm going to say is check your local guides because
yeah.
here at the Red Hot Underdogs, we haven't done our research on that one.
So, but
So,
usually it's on at like 8 o'clock at night, you know.
yeah.
So 8 o'clock at night in Perth is 4 in the afternoon, right?
Look, I'll go by what you're saying. When I was at school, I did maths in the sandpit. So,
Oh,
whatever you say, I'm happy to go with. But anyone watching or listening, don't specifically trust Jules either. Check your local guides, check Google, or check with your neighbour. But whatever you do, don't check with us.
yeah, don't listen to us. Whatever you do, don't listen to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and moving on to the like we're halfway through the season, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And your ladder predictions, want to go through from first to last or last to
17. Yeah, so earlier on in the year,
yeah,
our first episode before the actual season proper,
yeah,
I did a full ladder prediction sequence, 17 to 1, who I thought would finish 17th and 1. Uh, and I'll go through it now.
yeah,
So before the season started, I actually had the Dolphins in at last,
yeah,
17.
yeah.
That has proved to be,
So we're going
quite a
from
bad
we're going
prediction.
your ladder starting at the
Yes.
bottom, moving up. Is that right?
Moving up to the top, yes.
Okay, yep, yep,
So the Dolphins are currently sixth.
yep,
So from my prediction, they actually moved up 11 places, which
yeah.
was
Phenomenal.
very much a wow, 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 wow.
But
Just briefly, I can
yep,
give you a quick synopsis on why I thought the Dolphins had finished
yep,
17th. I thought Wayne Bennett's departure, I thought they've got a lot of sort of older used parts veterans. They had a few injuries at the time, but apart from all that, they seem to have been well and truly the surprise packet of the competition and put egg on my face.
and and also have a look at Dolphins for and against. You know,
Yeah,
they've got the second highest for and against. Like Storm has the highest, and then Dolphins, which
yeah.
is phenomenal. You know,
They
like,
really can put on points and they're
yeah,
developing very, very well. So,
Dolphins.
it's-
Where are they gonna? Are you gonna do a new prediction after this, or just give them a rating out of 10?
no, look, I'll give them a score of where I think they've done, how they've gone, a score out of 10 about how they've gone this year.
All right.
I think it's impossible for anyone to predict halfway through the season. I'm not even going to attempt it.
Yeah.
So I'd probably, given my initial prediction, give them a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's pretty good,
Look,
you
I
know?
actually think they deserve more. Like you expected them to come last, and they're coming sixth, and
Yes.
and I'll be surprised if they don't make the eight. Honestly.
So I'll preface it by saying this. If they're fifth or in the top five, I would have given them 9 out of 10. And probably in the top four, if they would have been fifth, I probably would have given them 9. If they had been the top four from 17th, I probably would have given them 10th.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, which I think is fair enough. So Dragons, I
A
had
little
at
bit
6.
harsh, to be honest. I think you're a bit hard. 8 out of 10, and they've gone predicted 17, and now they're coming six, and they get 8 out of 10. I really think they could have got more. That's all I'm saying, Drew.
Look, as a middle-aged hack on minimum wage who pushes lawnmowers for a living, I think I've got a pretty keen eye for the game, and I think that my ratings really do hold up.
Okay,
So
well, okay, I can't argue with that,
going on to the Dragons, who are 16th in my initial prediction, they are now 12th, so they've moved up four
Yeah,
spots,
yeah.
which isn't too much of a departure from my
Good.
initial one.
It's not bad.
Uh, yeah, look, they've been kind of hit and miss, and I give them 5 out of 10.
Oh.
I know they're 12th, but it's just they've been
That,
horrendously
you know,
inconsistent.
5 out of 10, you give them that if they haven't moved up at all, you know.
Nah, but I'm just not feeling it. Sorry if my sorry if you think that my
This
rating lack credibility. They've
rating
lost
doesn't
the
make
last two
any
or three
sense.
in a row.
It doesn't
But
make
you know,
any sense. They've moved
hey,
up and you've given them 5 out of 10.
hey, listen, it's a tough school here.
All right,
I
okay.
give them what I give them.
Okay, all right.
That
I'll stop commenting on the score that you give us.
no, I don't mind it. People need to
Okay.
be held accountable sometimes. Even myself, as I say about myself,
Yeah,
even God makes mistakes.
yeah.
So I've got my initial prediction for the Eels was 15th.
Hmm.
They've gone down one spot
Oh,
to
yeah.
16th. So that was a pretty good one. I
Good.
can hang my hat on that.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna give them probably 3 out of 10.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
I think that's reasonable. Uh, Tigers, my initial prediction was 14th.
Which was
They're
decent.
now
Yeah.
13th. They've moved up one.
Ah,
So I'm actually
you just froze, Drewy. Here I am, really interested to hear about the Tigers. Also, is very interested, and it just froze. Oh no. I'm just gonna wait. I can show also. Also, look, look at Drew's face. Yeah, look, it's frozen. Oh no, it's got wait, you're back. Okay.
we're
Okay.
frozen. We're back. You can
Um,
hear me?
I can hear
Yes.
you.
All right.
You're just about to give Tigers a score. What did they get?
All right. So Tigers, sorry everybody, but this is Red Hot Underdogs, Red Hot Underdogs Industries.
Yeah,
This is what happens. This is why I told you we collect the wooden spoon more
yeah,
often than not.
yeah.
I've give the Tigers 5 out of 10 because they haven't really significantly moved. They've gone up one spot. There's some green shoots for the future. I'm
Well,
okay with that.
sorry to say again, but they deserve more than that. Okay.
That's what I'm giving them. Sorry.
But
Raiders.
they've had quite a lot of only just losses. Okay.
Yeah, but essentially they're not that far removed from most of the pack, and they've only moved up one place.
Okay. All right. 5 out of 10. Okay.
Raiders were 13th
Oh, here we go.
uh, originally,
Yeah.
and they've moved all the way up to second. They've moved up 11 places. I'm actually going to give them 10 out of 10.
Finally, you give a score that everybody would agree with, you know?
Mate, I don't give candy out to everybody. I give it out to those that deserve it. So well done, Raiders.
Yeah, well done, Raiders. Well done, Ricky.
Demented Viking clap. All right, brilliant.
Are they going
Uh,
to win it?
War-
Are they going to win it? Are Raiders going to win it?
no, 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 I don't think so. Sorry, Raiders.
Mm.
Warriors were 12th in my original prediction. Right now, they're third. They've moved up 9 places. So I'm also going to give them 10 out of 10.
Oh, wow. Wow. I thought
Yeah.
you were going
So,
to say 9. I thought you were going to do the 9. Oh, wait. Speaking of 10 minutes to go, cuz. 10 minutes
all
to
right, very good. That helps me. Titans, uh, I had them 11th, and now they're at 17th. And this isn't me just being salty, but despite the fact that they beat us, I give them a grand total of 2 out of 10.
Two. Okay, two.
I think that's reasonable.
I think so.
Titans, Knights, I had at 10th. I've now got them at 15th. Uh, they're now at 15th, so they dropped down 5 places. I think I'm going to have them at uh, 4 out of 10. I
Four out
think
of
that's
10. Yeah.
reasonable.
Yep.
Rabbitohs ninth originally, they're at 14th. They've dropped down 5 places. Again, 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Cowboys eighth originally, they're now 10th. They've dropped down 2 places. I'm going to give them 6. They've been a bit scratchy, but I think 6 is warranted. The Roosters were 7th. Now they're 8th,
Okay.
down 1 place. I'm going to give them 6.
Ah, another team was down one place and you didn't give them six.
Oh, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Uh, whew, I'm struggling to get through this because I'm actually feeling like I might vomit soon.
Really?
Oh, yeah. This never happened on the Red Hot Underdogs.
What? Why?
Can you just keep talking for a
No, no, just
second?
breathe, breathe, cuz, breathe. Big breath.
Okay.
What's making you sick?
I don't know. Oh, hang on. Just stay there.
Go have a quick vomit.
Yeah.
Jesus. We won't listen in. Jeez, he's vomiting. Oh my God. Also, Drew's throwing up. Ariana, Drew's vomiting. Yeah, wow. In the podcast, he's sick. Quick, quick, quick.
But I can't see anything.
Oh, he's in that door. There he is. Oh, don't shut the door. Don't shut the door, Drew. I like this dog. Do you love this dog? Just my baby dog.
Just so my baby donkey. Just so my baby donkey. Just so my baby donkey. Hola, bichito, mi amorcito.
Oh, here he. Oh, he's sick. I'm going to hit pause. Okay, we're back. I feel a bit bad because Drewy, when you went off, I was just laughing and you were vomiting anyway, so you're okay, are you, Drewy?
Yeah, sorry about that, people. At the Red Hot Underdogs, sometimes the show must go on. I do apologize. The
Yeah.
missus has had a bug and feeling sick all week. First time, funnily enough, in the weekend after the missus feeling sick all weekend that I actually have been feeling sick. And it happened during the podcast.
Yeah.
Not trying to make Red Hot Underdogs Industries history here, but it's the
Yeah.
first time someone's thrown up on the podcast.
Yeah.
Congratulations to me.
Yeah.
Blue chunks, toilet bowl looked like Manly's rainbow jersey. But as I say, the show must go on.
And
So
you
I
know,
had
like just to go on, like when you vomit, you forget how you can't breathe when you vomit. It's quite like, were you like gagging for air? It was one of those ones.
no, I think it was just a rainbow-colored fountain of relief
Oh, good.
because
Yeah,
it was the
yeah,
build-up that was bad. I was actually sitting here for about 3 or 4 minutes, just
yeah,
sort of in kind of agony. But
yeah.
anyway, we're back and I'm
Anyway, we're
feeling,
back. And I'm not going to talk about any more about vomiting. I just want to tell you one experience. Is that okay, Drew? Like
yeah,
I
all right,
remember when I was sick at in Thailand, and I
yeah,
vomited off this boat, and you're just like, yeah, and I just screamed at the sky, rah, and
yeah,
I felt amazing. Like do you
yeah.
feel better now
I
after
do.
that?
I feel euphoric.
Yeah,
So
good, good.
where we were at, we
Yeah.
had the Roosters in my prediction at the beginning of the year at seventh,
Seven. Yeah.
and then they're now at eighth,
Yeah.
down one spot. I think I'm just generally going to put them, oh, I don't know, maybe 5 out of 10, possibly
That's
four.
okay. All right. I accept that. Like I won't tell the viewers we've recorded this before and you gave them a different score last time. You're changing. You're changing because I said to you that's not fair. All right. I'll stop. I'll stop. Yeah. But yeah.
But that's okay. I'll
Yeah.
find out what it was. Do you know what it was for memory?
Yeah. You said six before, and I
We'll
said to
go
you
with
that's
six.
not consistent. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
that's good enough for me. I was a
No, you've
sick
changed
soldier.
it.
My
No,
mind
no,
wasn't working properly.
you can't change it. If you say something and then you say something else, and then I say no, you said something else. You can't just change it back. That's not how it works. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to go with my first instinct. Anyway, we'll move on to the
Okay.
dogs.
Okay. So Roosters, 5 out of 10.
Yeah. All right, 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find some common ground.
Yeah.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Dogs. So they were sixth heading into my prediction list
Well,
for
not
the start
heading
of
into your
the
prediction
season.
list. That was six in your prediction list before.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And
Yeah.
and they were sixth last year for the record.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they've actually moved up 5 places to first on the ladder.
Yeah.
It can't get any higher than 10 out of 10. It had to be.
They
They've had a
deserve it.
phenomenal season. Not only have they been consistent, but they've improved on last year.
Yeah.
So 10 for the doggies.
10 for the doggies, 10 for the
Beautiful.
doggies, 10 for the Raiders, 10
Yes.
for the Warriors.
Yeah. And next on the list is our team, the mighty
Uh,
Sea Eagles.
uh,
Not so mighty anymore, let's be
they,
perfectly honest.
they're not even seagulls. They're like woodpeckers or sparrows or, like
Yeah, they're
budgerigars.
pretty
That's
bloody
what they are.
terrible.
The
The-
manly budgerigars or
Maybe there's a bit of Back to
pigeons.
the Future action going on with the Gold Coast Seagulls. Maybe we're the Manly Seagulls, but
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
I had us fifth in the prediction
Yeah.
ladder. We're at 11th now. There's a drop by 6 places.
But you're not just giving a score based on where they sit. You're giving a score
No,
on the performance and with
yeah,
win, loss, win, loss, win, and loss to the lowest three place teams. Do you know what I mean?
100%. But only apart from 4 or 5 sides,
Yeah,
everyone kind of sucked this
yeah,
year.
yeah,
And
yeah,
whoever sucks the least gets into the eight.
yeah,
So with the Sea Eagles, I've I've given them a 2 out of 10, which
yeah.
might be generous.
Very generous. Yeah,
And
very.
on second thought, I might actually give them a 1 out of 10 because
Yeah.
they've been horrendously inconsistent.
Yes.
And I think I'll give them 1 out of 10 for
1 out of 10.
basically
Good. Yep.
running out onto the field out of the tunnel each week.
Yep.
So they get a point for at least turning up and running out of the tunnel.
They were there. They
Yeah,
were there,
yeah,
2025, they were there.
yeah. But this year has been horrendous. Just
Disappointing.
run the Benny Hill music. It's
Yeah.
been an absolute comedy
Mm.
of errors and stops and starts and maybe retirements
Yeah.
and maybe re-signings and maybe nots. And it's
Yeah.
been days of our lives at the Northern Beaches, and they could potentially
Look,
be in danger of getting that dreaded wooden spoon.
there's
Fingers
been
crossed they don't.
a couple of wins, like, like against the Cowboys, the first game, and there was a couple of game, beating the Panthers, last place at that time. But
Yeah.
really, it's been a
Jekyll
50.
and Hyde, fire and ice. Take your poison, take your pick your poison,
Yeah.
whatever it is. We're just an absolute wave of disappointment and inconsistency. So we're fifth on my ladder.
Mm.
They're now 11th, drop 6 places, get a rating of 1 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
Broncos, fourth to
Hmm.
begin with, now 7th.
Yeah.
Drop 3 places. I'm
Yeah.
probably going to give them 4 out of 10. I think that's reasonable. They don't deserve to stay midway
Yeah.
because they've actually dropped more than a couple of places. I think actually 4 out of 10 might be generous, but I'm happy enough to stay with that one.
And don't forget Broncos were like a premiership side. Well, the grand finalist side.
Yeah, in 2023, yeah,
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 you know.
yeah. It's been
Um,
quite a steep decline, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah. So then the other one, I had the Sharks third
Mm,
on my list. They're fifth now,
mm,
a drop of 2 places, but given they're fifth, even though they've dropped a couple of spots, I'm not going to be too harsh.
yeah.
Probably maybe 6 out of 10 is reasonable.
Okay, yep, yep.
Uh, the Panthers have been quite disappointing,
What do
say
you
the
quite
extremely.
quite disappointing?
Yeah, I mean, I did say to say the extreme least.
Okay, yeah. All
Probably
right.
understatement of the
Who,
year.
who's more disappointing, Panthers or Manly? If you're not a Manly fan and you're not a Panthers fan, who's done worse?
Oh, look, I'd say the Panthers, but
Mm,
you know what? Panthers fans can't be disappointed or angry at their team. They've
mm,
just come off 4 straight premiership wins.
mm,
They could come last this year, and Panthers fans have no right to be mad at them
mm,
because you don't win 4 premierships in a row all the
mm.
time. It's
Yeah,
a complete rarity. It's a
yeah.
unicorn.
And what's the
So
chances they're going to get it again? Very slim, you know.
Yeah, look, I think they've spent all their petrol tickets by the time they get to the semis, if they get to the semis. Still a huge question mark over that.
Mm,
So we'll see what happens, but they dropped down 7 places to ninth.
mm.
Uh, I think I think 3 out of 10 is
Okay,
a
more than
reasonable
Manly.
score.
You're giving them more than Manly.
No, I gave
Panthers,
Manly 1. I gave Manly 1 out of 10.
yeah, and Panthers got three.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well,
A little
Manly
bit
aren't
biased, I
sitting.
reckon.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I kind of give them a reprieve because they've had so much success, and maybe just my hatred of Manly at the moment because I'm a
yeah,
very frustrated supporter.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm that disappointed Asian father that expects the very best out of his academic child, and
Dragon,
only A
dragon.
plus will do.
You're the dragon mother. That's what you are,
Yeah,
the dragon mother.
I believe so. So,
Okay. All
yeah.
right. One more to go.
And also like people can definitely go to town and really criticize these ratings. But I will put in a slight caveat. I
Yeah.
have done this under slight duress. There's been quite a bit going on in this episode. Been a frozen screen, a
Yeah.
trip to the bathroom,
Yeah. Yeah.
the rainbow
Fine.
fountain,
Yeah.
you know. It's
Rainbow.
all,
All right.
yeah, it's
Don't
all peace,
forget,
love, and mung beans.
we got
So
one more. One more.
one to go, finally. I never thought doing an episode would be like Mount Everest, but we're about to get to the top of the peak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Storm I had coming first in my prediction ladder. Now they're fourth. down 3 spots. I'm going to give them 7 out of 10.
Yep.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
They've been a little bit disappointing, but I mean, gee,
They're up
by
there.
Storm standards, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I think 7 out of 10 is reasonable.
Yeah. 7 out of 10 is all right. Yep.
Funnily enough, I still have them favourite for the premiership. I think they'll come good at the end.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Look,
Just my 2 cents.
Drewy, I know we weren't going to do this, but can I change my mind and ask you just quickly for your
Yeah.
tips from next week? Just quickly. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Sure.
I,
Yeah.
I don't want it. It's the two fans that watch this show that want it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
The
Absolutely.
people want
Absolutely.
it. Okay, all
We
right.
cater to our audience.
We do. All right.
Yeah.
Friday, this Friday. Okay, well, firstly, I guess, Wednesday, New South Wales versus Queensland in Perth. Who's going to win that?
I think the cockroaches will put the final nail in that cane-toed coffin. I'm
Oh,
going for New South Wales to be up 2-0 and put a complete knife through the series.
oh, okay, all right. And then they play for Pride. Is that right? The third one.
Well, yeah, Queensland will. Yeah. We
Yeah.
always hear about their pride and their spirit, so that should be right up their alley, one would
All
think.
right. Friday night, Tigers playing Campbelltown against top form Raiders, 8 p.m.
Oh, look, I do like the Tigers, but it's just too hard to go against the Raiders. I got to go with my head,
Yep.
not my heart on. It's not a popularity contest. The Raiders have been in red hot form, so definitely the Raiders.
Okay, on Saturday, great match here. Warriors in
Yeah.
Auckland playing the Panthers.
Again, like the Panthers are on the improve, so I'm
Yeah,
not
but they're
surprised if,
also they'll be missing Cleary, they'll be missing
yeah, I'm
yeah.
not surprised if they were to win, but I just think that the Warriors have been in too good a form, and I can't go past their recent form. And I just think that Panthers are expending too much energy to try and get in the eight at the end of the year. So I think this one will be a bridge too far. I'm going the Warriors.
Okay.
Still are Warriors,
Still
not
the
once
Warriors.
Warriors.
Once were, still are.
Still are. Still are. Not once words for when they're going badly.
What's it?
Still are
Always
Warriors.
was, always will be. Always was a warrior, and always will be a warrior. Or no, no, it's not
I,
that.
I,
Yeah. All right.
I think we should just move on to the next one.
No, the shirt, always was, never will be, always was.
Unfamiliar with it, like I said.
Okay,
I
okay.
think the show should roll on.
Always was, always will be. You know that one, Drewy. You know,
I
it's such
don't,
an
but I'll
Aboriginal.
roll with it. No, mate.
Oh,
Sorry to disappoint you. It slipped through the net.
okay. Dolphins on Saturday at 5:30 play the Knights in Perth. In Perth. Why,
Yeah, look, I can't go past the Dolphins. The,
why
for
in
God's
Perth,
sake,
Cuz? Why? Why?
I don't know, but the Dolphins have scored over 100 points in the last 2 weeks, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
50 on the Dragons, 50 on the poor Cowboys. I can't see the Knights doing anything different. The Knights might not lose by as much, but they're certainly not going to win.
Okay. This Saturday night, Bunnies in their home, Acor Stadium against the Storm.
Look, the Bunnies actually had a spirited effort today, but
Yeah.
I can't go past the Storm.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Storm
Storm
for
winning
me.
this Saturday
Storm of
night.
the Storm. They
Okay.
they don't really need much explanation, to be honest.
Sunday, 2 o'clock up at Suncorp.
Yeah.
Broncos playing the Sharks.
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel the Broncos are getting momentum, but and the Sharks haven't been that great recently,
Hmm.
but I'm going with the Sharks.
Okay. All right. Um, Roosters in Alliance Stadium, Sydney, playing the Cowboys.
Okay. I think you pronounce that Alliance, but I might be wrong.
Alliance, not
Uh,
Alliance. I do know that. It's
Yes,
late. We're tired. You've been
that's true.
screaming. Right, you've had screaming babies. I've had whinging kids. I don't know
So
what's worse, mate.
who was it again? I really should have just rolled with that. The Cowboys and who?
Roosters playing the Cowboys.
Gee, we're really running off fumes here,
Yeah,
aren't
yeah,
we?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Does anyone want to
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
go,
I'm going with the mighty Roosters.
Okay, Eels and Titans, last one.
All right. As
I
our
don't-
jalopy putters and coughs and splutters to the gas station, I'm going for the Eels.
Okay, Eels. All right, guys. That's it, mate. That's it.
Thank you for listening.
Thank
Thank you
you for
for watching.
listening.
Hopefully, if you're a listener or a viewer, this hasn't been as much of a punish for you as it has been for us. Don't forget to bloody well like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, it definitely has been a punish for us. So it's been
It's
one
been the hardest one
watched
ever.
it, much worse. See you.
That's true.
Great,
See
great
you, buddy.
episode. We've had vomiting, we've had
Frozen screen.
frozen screens, we've had it all. Okay, see you guys.
Later.
Yeah, stop.